Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
Little Hen says it's time to rock and roll.
All you people are so scared of me.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Man, that's just me.
I'm Batman.
This is Sparta!
There is a tiger in the bathroom!
I'm an excellent driver.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
We will destroy Gotham. And then, when it is done, and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die.
Hello and welcome to this week's Monday Movie Show. I'm Stuart and I'm also joined by a little bit of a sick Andy.
Yeah, a lot more on the mend than I was last week, though. Unfortunately, because I haven't been that well this week, we haven't got that many things to cover as we should have.
Well, sort of. We do still have two films to review. They are.
Yeah, you've got the latest Robert Pattinson's novel that's been adapted to follow the character of Alex Cross. See what I did there? And DreamWorks Animation's latest movie, Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, and it's James Patterson.
Why did I say Robert Pattinson's? Oh.
It's not by the guy who's in Twilight. Yeah, and then on top of that, we have some movie news and also the UK box office top 10. And because we normally divvy out the box office top 10 and DVD top 10 between us, and Andy doesn't know which one he's going to do, so this should be interesting for him. And he's going to do the box office top 10, so I'll read it out. At number 10, it's Jab Tak Hai Jan.
Because you just ambushed me with that, I don't have any information on that. I think that's the one that's about a guy who's ends up joining the bomb squad or something of the Indian Army or something like that. But it was the one that got highest up of the three films last week that were in the top 10 that were from Bollywood.
Yep, good recovery there actually. At number 9, The Master.
Which is, I'm glad to say, on its way out of the top 10 because I hated it. I thought it was awful. Without a doubt, as far as I'm concerned, Paul Thomas Anderson's worst film yet. Has very little, if no plot. Has great performances from the cast, and they're fantastic to watch when they're on screen. But then for the majority of the last 90 minutes of it, it's completely boring and runs for far too long.
Yeah, number 8, Argo.
Which is a complete opposite. Fantastic film. My nods for several Oscar nominations next year, as far as I'm concerned. I think this will be nominated in all the big categories and deserves a chance of winning in all of them.
Yeah, at number 7, End of Watch. It's a new entry.
Yeah, you'll have to do this because I haven't had the chance to see this still. I want to see it, but I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, End of Watch is Jake Gyllenhaal and I think it's Michael Pena. Yeah. Both of them play buddies. It's a sort of like it's got a mockumentary kind of feel to it, but it's not. It's a film which centers both on them. They play police officers in a really horrible area of America, and it's just about them tackling crimes and what happens in between the crimes that they do. It's brilliantly acted by both Pena and Gyllenhaal. It just has a problem with the fact that it feels a bit stagnant in between each of the cases that they're tackling, and the ending is a bit formulaic and quite stupid, to be honest. At number 6, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted.
Yeah, which we're not going to do it again because we've done it that many times. But it's up to now one of the best animated films of the year, surprisingly for a Madagascar film, and definitely the best Madagascar film of all three. They should stop with this one though. It's good fun for adults and kids. It's funny. Adults will laugh at it as much as kids, and it's enjoyable and it doesn't get boring for its running time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. At number 5, and you went for Gambit.
Which is sadly a complete waste of the talent that is involved in it, with Colin Firth playing a guy who wants to rip off his boss for basically a fake painting. And it's one of these kind of heist movies, but it's not really particularly heisty, and it's not particularly funny. And the acting in it is great because it's Colin Firth. You've got Alan Rickman, Alan Rickman, the thing about it is he's the bad guy they're supposed to be ripping off, and he's the one you actually like the most.
Yeah, number 5 and number 4, sorry, and you went for Silver Lining Playbook.
Yeah, the one that seems to be getting a lot of sort of good notice from people who are saying it's got a really good performance to it from both Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence in it, as well as Robert De Niro, who's for once playing a small part in the film but not completely hamming it up. It's a drama about these two people who are both kind of mentally unwell, and end up entering together into a relationship and then entering into a dance competition together.
Yeah, at number 3, the last of this week's new entries, Nativity 2, Danger in the Manger.
I really don't know much of this other than the fact that it's a sequel to a film that a lot of people seem to like when it came out. It's a British sort of kids comedy about a nativity and a school all getting it together to do a nativity, and then the second one is pretty much the same, only with David Tennant in it as well.
Well, the second one is about David Tennant, who plays a teacher who goes to this small little school who needs to take this group of kids to a song contest for them to win it. It's got one of the actors from the first one, Mark Wootton, who played Mr. Poppy. It looks awful because it's completely non-scripted. There is no script. So there is no script, it's all improvised. That's the word I've been trying to think of every single time I've described this movie, and it's only just popped into my head right now. It's an improvised film, but it looks awful.
Yeah.
At number 2, Skyfall.
What more is there to say? Bond back for the 50th anniversary and doing absolutely fantastically and still raking it in at the box office because it is actually a really good Bond film.
Yeah, I'm guessing by the time the new chart comes out, which is tomorrow, it'll have gone past the 90 million mark. It'll be very close to Avatar, which took 94 million. So
I think Bond's going to be in the top 5 for Christmas week. I wouldn't be surprised at this rate.
Neither will I, because there is only one of the big film coming out just before Christmas anyway. So, and finally at number 1, Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 2. Yeah,
which we haven't seen, and we're not going to see till it comes out on DVD. Well, I'm not going to see till it comes out on DVD. Stuart's probably never going to see it. Nope. The last part of the Twilight Saga, following the whole thing of Bella, as she is now a vampire. Ooh, spoiler alert for the other 5 books or 4 books, films, whatever. I don't care. Let's move on.
Yep, let's move on to some movie news now. This first piece of movie news, if Andy knows anything about it, I will be really surprised. Screen Daily are reporting that Dresden Pictures have snapped up the rights to do a live-action version of Studio Ghibli's brilliant Grave of the Fireflies. The animated film is cited as one of the most powerful, important animated features ever made. The live-action version will begin shooting in 2014.
I didn't know that, but as soon as you said something about it, I knew it had to be something to do with Studio Ghibli. I knew it had to be as soon as you said something.
Yeah, the thing which is interesting about this story is that it'll be the first ever Studio Ghibli not to just be remade, but also to have a live action version of the film as well. Grave of the Fireflies.
Ariete is a remake of a story that's been told lots of times in live action before, isn't it, with the Borrowers?
Yeah, it has, but not the way this version of Ariete is done. So that's sort of like it's not Studio Ghibli remaking their own film. One of Studio Ghibli's films has never been remade or never been made into a live action feature. As a matter of fact, Studio Ghibli has not even done a sequel to any of their films, in my knowledge.
Okay, so, well, as a big Studio Ghibli fan, then, how excited are you for this?
Well, the way the story is, it's a very sort of like a lot of films that were released in the 50s and 60s have got the same kind of standpoint view of Grave of the Fireflies, because this is set during Hiroshima, so it's obviously not set during that time, so it's sort of like a war film of sorts, and it's probably Studio Ghibli's most, I wouldn't say down to earth, but the film itself is really tough to watch. So it will lend to a live-action version of it much more easier than any of Studio Ghibli's films, obviously apart from Ariete, but that was done from a book anyway. So it'll be the easiest one out of the Ghibli films, and I can understand why Dresden Pictures has chose that one out of the Ghibli back catalogue, because all the rest, it'll be a nightmare to create into a live-action movie. So I'll go to see it, but Grave of the Fireflies, I highly recommend people watching it if they've not seen the animated version, because it's an outstanding piece of film. Disney have confirmed that not only Flight of the Navigator is set for a remake treatment, but that they have writers pinned down in the form of Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly, who worked on the film Safety Not Guaranteed. The duo will work on an initial script by Brad Copeland, with Disney also eyeing Trevorrow as director.
Flight of the Navigator is one of those films that, if you watch it now, it's still good. It is dated because of certain things in it, but it is still good. I'd be interested to see what they do and how they mess it up in a remake, a new one. But I'm interested to see what they come up with. It'll be interesting to see what they do decide to do, if they change the story in any way or if they keep the same thing.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like Seth MacFarlane is going to have a very, very busy 2013, as not only is he set to work on a sequel to the brilliant Ted, but it also looks like a Family Guy film is set to go into production. MacFarlane is also set to host the 2013 Oscars, plus he's also set to do a voice for a character in The Simpsons as well.
Yeah, as I've already said it, the only thing I can see happening for a future story to carry on with Ted is it be that Mark Wahlberg and I forgot what her name is. I keep forgetting what her name is. Mila Kunis, yeah. If their characters have a kid, and then that's what the story becomes. So that's the only thing I can see happening in the future. Ted, that's the only thing I can see that would give enough things there to make another movie. As for Family Guy, I love Family Guy. There's already been a movie made which was like a TV movie thing, which just didn't work. It was awful. And I mean, the thing that Seth MacFarlane has said about Family Guy is that for doing a movie, because it's animation, you can get away with anything on a TV show. So it needs to be something big that you want to do for a big screen. So hopefully he's come up with a good idea.
Yeah, that I can see where you're coming from with the Family Guy film of sorts. What they did is they realised it didn't work as a film, and they cut it down into 2 episodes. So,
I've seen it in its film version before.
Yeah, I have as well. I've got it on DVD,
and it doesn't work. It's they didn't really know what they were doing there. I think they were just doing it as a thing of, we're getting cancelled again. Let's do something different.
Yeah, it didn't work. It worked better as 2 separate episodes, but it didn't work as one full one. And they've obviously done the Star Wars parodies as well. But I think MacFarlane has probably learnt from the mistakes that he made with that one. So maybe a Family Guy film might work now.
Just going to make everyone aware that I am going to be coughing all the rest of this evening. Sorry to everyone.
So if you hear a cough, blame Andy, it's not me. Final piece of news, it looks like the new Highlander film is after a new director, as Juan Carlos Fresnadillo has stepped down with no reason given. The director replaced Justin Lin after he decided to back away from the project so he could concentrate on the next Fast and Furious film. It's unknown at this time who will be replacing Fresnadillo on the project.
A remake of a film is in trouble. Oh well, there's hope yet. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Fresnadillo has been in post-production with this film for about a year now. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they just cancel it.
Well, they got Ryan Reynolds already signed up to it, so I'll be surprised if they did, because with him behind it, they should have some sort of backing to it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Right, it's time to go for... this is an interesting break. What happened was I was sent this clip from somebody in a part of the Pod Gods. Andy doesn't know about this. I forgot to tell him. Stupid me. But yeah, I was sent this promotion for somebody who's a part of the Pod Gods. And what they're doing is they've set up a Kickstarter fund so they can fund this animated series that they're doing, which is featuring one of the characters that they work on, which is about the zombies. So listen to this clip, and if you can help them out, then it's very helpful. I think they've only got a couple of weeks left, but just have a listen to this.
7 Days a Geek, in association with the Pod Gods Network, presents...
All right,
It looks like we've got an ELE, an extinction level event on our hands. At approximately 1800 hours, our atmosphere was breached by a comet that sent signals off in DC like a winning slot lottery machine in Vegas. Our radars lost track of it, somewhere in the mountains above a small town called Pandora Falls. And our job is simple. Find this rock that fell from the heavens and see if it means to make peace with us. Or we blow the damn thing to kingdom come.
Sir, we are just over Pandora Falls now. I think you need to see this.
What in the blue bloody hell am I looking at? Land this bird, Sumter! We're under attack! If it moves, shoot it!
To learn more about this exciting story, please visit www.kickstarter.com and search for Extinction Level Event. Or check out 7 Days a Geek on the Pod Gods Network on iTunes and Stitcher Radio.
So if you can help them out any way, shape or form, there's a link in that little clip that you heard. It was about a minute and a half clip, and Andy, you're going to have to listen back to the show if you want to hear it. I'll just send it to you anyway, and you'll be able to hear what it's about. But it's a zombie project, and it sounds quite interesting actually. So anybody who can help some members out in the Pod Gods, they'll be happy, and they'll be happy with us because we mentioned them. So we'll not be shouted at on Twitter by them, which is awesome.
So I'm going to sit back quietly and listen to you twaddle on about a couple of films for half an hour since I haven't seen anything then.
Yep. So I had 2 films to review this week, and I think I'll go with the film that's probably the worst of the 2. Well, not probably, as it is. It's Alex Cross. It's directed by Rob Cohen, who did films like Daylight and Fast and Furious and Triple X. And when I looked up what films Cohen did in the past, I saw that he is working on a new Triple X film, which I didn't know about.
They've been talking about that for ages. Apparently they are bringing back Xander Cage.
Which is going to be really interesting, because the Triple X films are rubbish.
No, they're not. The first one isn't.
No,
the
it is.
The second one is atrocious.
It's
but
rubbish.
He directed the first one.
Alex Cross is based on a James Patterson novel, and the original ones starred Morgan Freeman's Kiss the Girl and Along Came a Spider. I think I'm right.
Yes.
And this is the third one featuring Alex Cross's character. This time it's played by Tyler Perry. Now, people in the US know Tyler Perry for his character Medea, who's this an old woman kind of character, and Tyler Perry's characters are they're more famous in America rather than over here. He's never had a hit over here. So what Tyler Perry has decided to do is step in front of the camera rather than behind the camera and play sort of like a character as Alex Cross. Now, Alex Cross is an FBI, well, not FBI agent. He's he's a detective who wants to become an FBI agent. He's got a family. He lives with his wife's mother. So his stepmother. He lives with his wife's mother and his daughter. He's one of these agents who's really good at piecing together clues, and the crime scenes that he goes to, he's able to sort out the crime pretty brilliantly. And there's this psychopathic serial killer who's going around and he's killing people. But what he does then is he leaves a charcoal picture behind. And so he's related as Picasso, and he's played by Matthew Fox. Here's a clip.
You're being disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And I don't like that. Not at all. I'm a professional.
What do you call a little run-in last night, huh?
Dr. Cross, you're taking this personally.
Yeah, about as personal as you took running out of that building with your tail tucked between your legs.
That job I can finish on another day.
But failure has to be difficult for a guy like you. So how did you punish yourself? Was it wire under your fingernails?
Textbook psychology, Dr. Cross. Seriously. Textbook. By the way, your wife looks stunning.
So during the film, what Picasso has gone and done is the first victim who you see him going after is this wealthy businesswoman who seems to have some kind of information that Picasso wants. Then he goes after somebody else, and his third victim, because what Cross is doing is trying to stop what Picasso is doing, Picasso decides to go after his family and after his wife. And as you heard in the clip there, Cross is having a dinner with his wife, and Picasso decides to take it out on Cross by killing his wife. Now, that's not giving anything away because it is in the trailer of the film. Now, and from then on in, the whole idea is Cross trying to hunt down Picasso because obviously he's hit him in a personal place, and he wants to obviously try and get him. Now, the problem with the film is Tyler Perry is terrible as Cross. He is really, really bad. Morgan Freeman has been brilliant in Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. They are decent films. They are decent thriller films. This one has no thrilling elements to it whatsoever. What the director has decided to go and do is take an actor in Perry and give him a complex character like Cross, because Cross is a really intelligent character, the way he's able to solve these crimes that's gone on. And giving it to an actor who cannot handle it whatsoever. Tyler Perry is about as useful as a door. He has as much charisma as a door. He's that plain. There isn't any characters around him, which is decent enough as well. Picasso, played by Matthew Fox, is probably the best thing about the film. But as you heard in the clip there, I don't know what directors have with bad guys speaking in stupidly gravelly voices. He has a sort of like a gravelly voice throughout the film, and it's supposed to add menace, and he's decent enough. But Fox isn't given enough of a bad guy to play with. And what's really interesting, the first time when you see Picasso is in an MMA fight, and the MMA fight lasts about a minute, and he bets $10,000 on himself that he's going to win it because he's that cocky. Yeah, you can probably guess what happens. He's supposed to be a brilliant fighter, but the confrontations, what they have, Cross outdoes him brilliantly, easily. And so he's a useless bad guy, and the film itself is just completely pointless. If they were going to attempt to do a third film of this kind in the series of novels,
fourth.
That it's the fourth, is it? I thought it was the
third. This will be a third. I thought you meant another one after this.
No. If they were going to attempt to do this third one properly, they should have gotten one, a better actor to play across, two, a better director to handle the film as well, and three, a better scriptwriter to handle the script, because everything about this film is completely pointless. But the best thing about it is Fox. So I just see it, don't watch it. Just don't watch. Go out and rent Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. They're much better films. Are there any more in the series?
I think altogether the books had about something like 17 books. I'm not joking.
Really?
I was looking it up. Yeah, I was looking it up the other day, and I was trying to see how many there were, because I was just curious. And I'm sure there's something like that. Is a long series of books, because this is one of James Patterson's long-standing characters. So I don't know. It might not be 17, but I'm sure it's something high. It's a long number for a series of books. I'm kind of disappointed to hear that this film was that bad. I heard that it wasn't good, but I did want to see it, which is why I said originally I was going to review it. But unfortunately, I just haven't been able to get out and see it because I've not been well enough. It's a
completely pointless film.
Yeah.
It's a completely pointless film. US Danny Dyer fan in a live chat said Idris Elba would have been better. Anybody would have been better than Perry.
I would have been curious to see Idris Elba as well, because Idris Elba is a brilliant actor in that kind of thing. I mean, if you've seen Luther, you just know that he'd be perfect for the part.
Yeah, he would have been much, much better. And so if they are going to do a fourth film, then Idris Elba would have been a much better choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's an awful film. Avoid it. Just avoid it. It's pointless. Right, second film of the night, and again, I'm reviewing this one, is Rise of the Guardians. It's an animated film directed by Peter Ramsey. It's from DreamWorks. And now what this film centres around it's got a really decent voice acting cast. It's got Hugh Jackman, Alec Baldwin, Isla Fisher, Jude Law, Chris Pine. And the film itself centres around the Guardians, which is Bunny, or the Easter Bunny, played by Hugh Jackman, an Australian Easter Bunny to be precise. North, or as everybody knows him as, Santa Claus, voiced by Alec Baldwin. Then you've got the Tooth Fairy, which is voiced by Isla Fisher. And the start of the film is just... And then you've got Sandman as well, which has absolutely no voice whatsoever. And the start of the film is those four together, they are the Guardians. They are a part of children's imaginations. They are under threat by Jude Law's character, who plays Pitch, the main bad guy of the movie. And what Pitch does is, Pitch is sort of like the boogeyman character. He doesn't get recognised by anybody, but he wants recognition now. And his plan is to stop children believing in each one of the Guardians so he can get some power back in this world and take over the world. Now, there's another character who doesn't seem to be getting noticed at all, and that's Jack Frost, voiced by Chris Pine. And now, what Jack Frost does is obviously when you look outside of the window during a snowy day or a cold day, you see frost around, and that's what Jack Frost does. And people don't believe in him. Obviously, parents tell children that Jack Frost is making a call, but children will not believe him, and that's what he wants. He just wants people to start believing in him. And the Guardians, with the help of the Man in the Moon, decides to get Jack Frost in as a member of the Guardians so they can help them stop Pitch. Here's a clip.
He's here. Quiet. Hey, there he is. Jack Frost!
Wow. You gotta be kidding me. Hey, put me down.
I hope the Yetis treated you well.
Oh, yeah. I love being shoved in a sack and tossed through a magic portal.
Oh, good. That was my idea. You know Barney, obviously.
Obviously.
And the Tooth Fairy?
Hello, Jack. I've heard a lot about you. And your teeth.
My what?
Open up. Are they really as white as they say? Yes. Oh, they really do sparkle like freshly fallen snow. Girls, pull yourselves together. Let's not disgrace the uniform.
So, the film itself, now, it's an interesting movie, this, because as of late, we've been getting movies where there seem to be slightly more extreme for animated films. We've had Paranorman, we've had Frankenweenie, we've had Hotel Transylvania. Well, Hotel Transylvania can probably leave out of that. They're more horror elemented animated films, and this film itself, it has its roots in horror because of the boogeyman character in Pitch trying to obviously come back. But the film itself is much darker than I thought it would have been. Because later on in the movie, it does get particularly dark. Around about the 45-50 minute mark, there is something that happens in the film, and it starts to become more like A Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that. There are funny elements in the movie. There are nice little touches. You've got little elves in the film, which obviously crack jokes. There's these huge, massive yetis which work for North, the Santa Claus character, and there is a brilliant little thing. The joke is told twice, and the first time when Santa Claus is walking past and these yetis are doing all the toys, because it's the yetis who's doing the toys, all of them are painted blue, and Santa points out that shouldn't they be red for more Christmassy? And then later on in the film, the exact same joke is used, but it's the Easter Bunny who says, shouldn't these be blue for more Easter? And it's a really funny joke because it works really well, and so there are funny parts in this film. But the best thing about this film is it's the imagination of children. Children, when they go to see this film, they'll see all the characters on screen that's a part of their imagination in the Boogeyman, in Santa Claus, in the Easter Bunny, and Jack Frost, and they'll fall in love with the characters that are on screen because each character is represented perfectly for the characters of their imagination. So there is something for everybody in this movie. It is dark enough for adults. There are jokes in this film for adults. It's light enough for younger kids because of characters like the Easter Bunny and also Sandman, which in my opinion is the standout character in the film because I thought he was a brilliant character. The animation is fantastic as well. The animation pops brilliantly, especially with Sandman when you do see a couple of the fight scenes between Sandman and Pitch. Sandman uses sort of like his powers to create a whip, and it's brilliantly animated. So I really enjoyed this. It's probably tied with Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, as my second best animated film of the year.
That does make me want to see it now. Then I'm curious about it because it does look rather good.
Yeah, I surprised myself. I wasn't actually looking forward to it because when we sorted the list of what films we were going to see, I just thought I can't even be bothered to go and see any of them this week. But then with Andy not feeling very well, I had to obviously pick up the baton, and I went to see Alex Cross and Rise of the Guardians. But Rise of the Guardians is definitely the film you should see. And as US Danny Dyer fan has just pointed out, Guillermo del Toro is one of the producers on the film. So that's why it has got a dark tone, and you can definitely point out del Toro's sort of like parts in that film, his fingerprints on the film, because it has got a del Toro kind of feel to it. But it's a brilliant film. I loved it. So I that's definitely my recommendation if the week to go out and see. Right, that's it for the cinema part of the show. We will be back in a moment on Spreaker with the Blu-ray and DVD part of the show. If you listen to us on iTunes or if you listen back to the show, then please leave us a comment or like us or anything like that anyway. So we'll be back in a moment with the Blu-ray and DVD part of the show.